Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. This is going to be a quick update just in terms of my PPK-20, the WELL Pro build. If you watched the last video, which was a lot longer version, I kind of did my attachments on this and created this is what it is now. AceTech tracer unit, this Votatu light, 3D printed hand stop, Repro Micro T2 red dot sight that is on there, Magpul grip and some rail scales, and I think that was it. However, the one issue that we came along was I absolutely love these weapon light lasers from Votatu. They didn't send this to me. I bought it myself. They have sent me a couple in the past for free to review. So they haven't asked me to review this, whatever it is. The issue that I had, which I thought actually would work with this, was this. The front sight on the PPK-20 is just so wide and fat of where it is that actually it starts to push this slightly out of the way. Now, it's not an issue for the flashlight, but I think it is an issue for the laser. I've actually not fully tested it yet. I did actually put the laser as far left as possible, but it is going to be off center. And so I think it's going to be an issue just depending on the amount of distance. This works right now because where my hand stop is here, it can put my thumb rest on there, so it works. But as I was thinking about it last night, I was like, oh, maybe I should try and find a different actual flashlight laser combo that would work. And this is another one that Votatu do. And again, I love the performance of these, and the price of these is really good for what they are. So this was $85, and I was like, oh, look, this is kind of split. So you actually have your flashlight on one side and your laser on the other. So will that fork around the actual front sight on the PPK-20? Now, I started unboxing this and was about to put it on, and then I was like, why don't I film this little bit for you guys so that you can see yourself if this would work. This is their V840 series, and this one is, as I said, $85. I think it's normally $100, but it's been reduced down to that. Quality of this is really good, as it is for all of the stuff that I've got from them. Really kind of lightweight for the size of it. I think it probably weighs slightly more than the other one does, the M8LG, which is this one here. This one has obviously the built-in pressure pads here. This has a selector for your light, green, light, and it also does have an IR function. So this one's got an IR laser. It's an IR laser? I think it's an IR laser, yeah. It's an IR laser. I don't want to shine that in my eyes, actually. But I can switch it between flashlight and laser. If you can see that little green dot there, I could go just flashlight, or I can go off, or I can go just laser. So I can switch between whichever one I want and then control it with one button. It also comes with, what is this? This is a mount, I think. No, this is a switch. So it comes with a switch, kind of like a standard mount. It's not a crane switch or anything like that. But it comes with that, and then it has two buttons, I think two buttons, or maybe just one button on there. And so that's got a mount for Picatinny. So that's kind of where I would put it, on the top. And then it also has the charger, and then it has some mounts there for M-LOK as well. Now, I started to look at this, and I'll show you again, I think an issue that I'm going to have with this one is, again, I just think that this annoying / very cool looking front sight on this PPK-20 is just not going to allow anything far enough forward mounted, which is going to sit either side of this built-in sight. So that one, let me just not lose that. That one can be mounted Picatinny and also M-LOK, because it does have M-LOK slots here. So you could mount it directly on. However, with this, the location of where it would be for my hand isn't comfortable. And that's the most important thing. I'd rather have not crappy, but I'd rather have a less good actual product and have it in a location where I'm going to actually be able to use it. So this, unfortunately, if it's there, it's not going to actually attach fully. And no, it's there's too much here. There's not enough curve on the rail. So if you look there, it's not going to fully sit flush. And then I could mount it underneath on the Picatinny, but again, my hand's not going to go down there. This one doesn't have the functionality of a switch. However, this one does. Now, when I looked at it, I was like, okay, this is great. I'll just stick it right here, and that laser and that flashlight are going to sit either side, and it will. However, the other issue you have is this, which is this little like clasp, which releases the actual front handrail, the handguard on the front here. So that kind of blocks anything that's wide like this for sure, and most things that's going to sit that far back on the Picatinny. Really, I should just get a new rail for this. I can put it in that location. But if you look here, it's just not fully pushing down. And I think I can secure it. But again, it's going to be one of those weird situations where it's just going to be off center. Now, when I do this and I put laser and green light on, you can see that they do clear it. Like I got the laser and the green light. The laser is very, very close and actually is just about touching, but it still works fine. The other issue that I'm then going to have is I've got nowhere to put the switch, because I normally have the switch here and obviously it's back here. So I could kind of clasp it like that and use it that way. But again, it's not that comfortable. However, when I was about to do this and I was like, okay, right, well, I should be filming this. What am I going to do? You do also have the option with this, I think, to mount it on M-LOK. And I think this also could be an issue just because of like how this sits here. But I think I can mount the M-LOK directly through these two gaps. And again, this is something Votatu like really thought out well. You can see there's two screws there. And it looks like they basically attach this rail system on. Now I'm gonna have to verify it again and make sure, because this could be another one of those ones where I'm like, oh, this is gonna work great. And then it ends up not working. This PPK-20 has been fantastic so far in every way, other than I can't get mags for it. And this whole situation we have with the lights on here and not kind of working properly. Okay, so I'm going to do that. We'll put these guys out. I am slightly concerned that the ridge line there isn't going to sit flush with the Picatinny again. Now I've just done that. The good thing, I think, hopefully you guys find a value on this channel is like I look at the picture online and I'm like, okay, great. I'm going to make this work. I'm going to put this there. And obviously you can't test it until it arrives or it turns up. And hopefully if you guys are thinking of doing the same thing or something similar, you can watch this video and then you can from that deduce if this is going to work for you or not. Now there's two springs. I'm glad that I just double checked that where they were, but they sit there just to kind of give that function, that springiness to this Picatinny mount. But that basically has come off. The screws have come off, and then we have that is the bottom of it now, and those screws basically came through the middle there. So I just love how I can actually like put this on Picatinny or M-LOK. So my idea, and we'll see if this is going to work, is to mount it on the side there. If I can mount it on the side and then put the switch on the top, I then have flashlight and laser, and I can use my switch in the location where I really want it to be. I think that's going to fit well. I don't want to jinx it, as I said, but I actually think this could work. It's kind of sitting there perfectly, it looks like. There's almost like zero move or wobble with that. They've obviously given us a load of this hardware, so I'm going to look and see what I'm going to need lengthwise. I've got a couple of the M-LOK little screw heads here. There's one there. And there's one there. I think you can also mount the... I might need a thicker one. Let's see how much give we've got with this. That's going to be too long. I can also mount the switch on M-LOK as well as on Picatinny, and they give you the hardware for that, which is also awesome, because if I then wanted to switch where I'm mounting, I think that should be good. So let's go with that. I'm going to attach this little M-LOK piece. I might push this down. So basically just drop that screw through the middle section there. I'm going to just attach the end of the M-LOK fastener on there. I'm going to do the same. I probably should have got two exactly the same size screws and measured them before I did this, to make sure I've got the right ones. I think it's another one of these. Yeah, that's the same length. Okay, so we're going to do that, and then I'm going to get this other M-lock fastener. Put that on. And now we'll line this up, and I'm probably just going to have this as far forward as I can get it. And we'll see. I might need a longer one, you know. I'll just go slightly looser on this, because it needs to drop down far enough to get into the rail system and then hook. Okay, that's good. That one's not. Okay, that's hooked now. So if I pull up on these two, hopefully that will lock in. This will do the same thing. Yeah, that's locked in nicely. Tighten it, but not too tight in case I have to take it off again. But it sits really flush. I'm obviously going to take this danger thing off here because I don't want that kind of giving my position away. But that, in terms of like thing there, my finger there does rub slightly on the edge of this. But it's kind of perfect, actually. I'm definitely going to have to move this M-lock rail segment, so I'm going to do that in a second as well. But that actually feels really, really good. Okay, so what I'm now going to do is I'm going to put all these hardware back in that bag. Oh, actually, what I need to do is mount this. And actually, no, I don't need that. So I'm going to put this hardware back in here, making sure I put the screws in. I'll close that up, keep this here. And then I'm going to put this switch exactly where I want it to be on the rail. And this is going to depend on my hand positioning and where I want it. I want it slightly further forward than that. Slightly further forward. It's quite a short little replica, so that's the thing. I think that's going to be good. And it's right up front where the rail is, where the forward front sight is. I can probably tuck this. No. It's kind of great because if you look here, it actually surrounds the flash hider, the tracer unit. So it allows me to take this on and off and literally kind of like hugs it. Okay, so I think I just need to push this hard onto here. It's one of those like rubberized little grip pieces. Yeah. In fact, I might remove this, then put that on. That works better. Then put this in. Or what I might do is actually put it the other way. I'm going to stick this as far forward as I can go and then reverse it. Like that. And then I'm going to have the wire coming out the back, which should hopefully fit better. I've then got the button there where I want it. I might actually pull that slightly further back if I've got it that way. Like there's a lot of times as well when I'll do this, I'll put it in place, and then when I'm playing around with it later, I just actually then end up putting it in a different spot than I thought I would. Let me just put this in. Let me just make sure I know where this is going in actually as well. I think that this is going in where this rubber piece is. Yeah. Okay, hold on. That's not pulling that out. It's going to be pulling this out. My knife. Is this attached? There it is. Okay, cool. So that little plug there just comes out. So I may remove that because I'm probably going to use this with... Oh, wow. Okay, so the actual like thing has got a little like attachment on the side here. It's got that, which actually locks into place. Again, like it's been really well thought out. So you can push it in, then rotate it round. Like I'll show you there. I've pushed it in, and then you can see I push this down and rotate it round, and it locks it in place. So it's not like I can pull that wire accidentally and then my switch is gone. And now, yeah, and the response on it's really good. Push once, it goes in, hold it down, stays in. Okay, so I'm probably going to remove this. I'll do that after the actual like piece here because I can't see why I would need it. I'll probably keep it in that hardware little section so that I can do that later. I need to do some wire control. I might quickly just thread this into the M-lock and then I can feel what that's going to be like for now. So there I've just, obviously you couldn't do that on real steel because that would just melt the wiring. But that actually feels really good now. That obviously needs to get taken care of, and we'll put this somewhere. Put that there for now. But I'm quite excited to use this thing. I'm going to remove this because we don't want a big white sticker on the side of my beautiful replica. There we go, and that's coming off nicely. And then, and it actually is sticking out further than it was before, so it's not going to be, you can see here the edge of the flash hider is being affected, but it's not going to be as affected as when it was back here. It's very lightweight, so it's not like it's put on a load of weight from just having that on there. Okay, now what I'm going to do is actually just quickly remove this guy. Because... All right, last time I remember, I couldn't find one that fit, did I? I'm going to have to go and grab a different... Let's see if this Allen key works with this one. We'll put this in here. I need to charge it up, so I'll take the charger out. Those can go in there. Does this guy fit? No, it's a weirdly like small thing. Okay, so I'm going to quickly grab just another screw head just to get this, and then I'll do it. Okay, here's my trusty go-to. I don't know what to call this video. Like, obviously now you're watching it, you know what it's called, but I'm like, okay, maybe it's called like review of that thing. The other thing is I've got rid of this rail scales, which isn't an issue, I don't think, because now I'm not clamping it there. But that is something. I also need to still get that shorter screw. Let's get this off. And the other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to switch over to this, which I picked up today, which is the smaller. Why is this such an awkward shape? Like it's just too small for this. That's what it feels like. Too big for that and too small for that. Trying to think if there's another one. I mean, I could use like a little star or some other version of it, but let's just try forcing this in slightly and then. No, that's not going to work on that. Okay, that one works fine. I'm gonna try and get another. See, this star will go in. Not quite. Calling it a star, I should know what it's actually called, shouldn't I, really? There we go. So that worked. Weirdly, it's not supposed to have a star shape in it, but apparently this Magpul one does not want to be. Okay, and that's out. So that's that Magpul QD mount. We'll remove that. I'll put that on something else. And then I'm going to put this guy on, which I've used these on quite a lot of mine. It's again Magpul. It's their RSA QD. These are unbelievably expensive how big they are. Like this thing's $30. And it's obviously very, very small, but it is real steel. It's supposed to be, you know, it's what people use on real stuff, so it should be pretty hardy. Don't think I should have the issue of it. Shouldn't say that. Of it kind of like coming off or anything if I've secured it properly. Switch that the other way. But it means that I can actually put it a lot closer to where I want it to be now. As I said on the last video, like it's got a QD mount there. I'm going to put it on the actual top cover, which could be a good idea or a bad idea, just because this top cover obviously is going to take the weight of the replica, which I don't know if I like that. Just from a, is that a clever thing to do? Where's this? Feels like that's not sitting flush. Like the actual rail's too fat for it. All right. Okay, well, we'll go with it. Put it right here behind the sight. Yeah, it's almost like this just feels like this Picatinny rail just feels like it's too chunky. It should be okay. If you look there, like that little gap right there, it's almost at a weird angle. Let's see if it works, and then if not, we can make another plan. Yeah, it's definitely not sitting flush. Okay, if I fit it to the other part, again, it's like another issue that just comes up with this replica. Like, how would I predict that this is the case, that this would be like this? Okay, that can't sit there. That can sit there, and that feels like it's a lot more flush. Maybe I just have to run this as a 1 point. Or I go right up here. And again, that's going to be too... That's going to be too chunky to go in there. It's weird that it's like this rail's almost too fat, kind of like around the edges. It kind of feels like that's the issue that it's coming up with. Although to the eye, it doesn't look that much different. If I move this back one spot, okay, I'm going to take the sight, I'm going to move it back one rail space. I've actually got another sight that I could use on this as well, but okay, if that's there now. Okay, there we go. That's now sat there. It's almost, I think, like the edges just weren't sitting down fully, and it kind of like surrounds, which is why that fatter rail piece there is not working, because it needs to surround where it is. So by just moving that back one slot, it's allowed me to do that. So let's hope. And that's my favorite spot to have the my sling. It's kind of as close to the body as possible. So that's going to mean that my sling is running there and there. And yeah, this feels really good. The only thing I think now I need to do is just remove this guy and then get that screw down and obviously get mags for it, and we'll be good to go. All right, guys, that was a lot longer video than I thought it would be, just kind of installing a light, but hopefully that's been interesting for you. And hopefully, like, if you were thinking about buying this, now you can kind of work out if it's going to work. I hope you're good wherever you are and have a great day. Goodbye.